And it's showtime.
It's showtime. What's up, guys?
What's going on,
Some
guys?
guys,
How you doing?
bunch of guys in here early. Do appreciate you guys. Cookie, I haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. And Novo, I saw you in here earlier. Thanks for joining us for the first time. Appreciate it. Who else is new in here? Speak up.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
speak up.
family. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Um, yeah, so we got a fun-filled show tonight. We're going to do at least an hour of your questions and answers live. So ask us anything that you want within reason. All
I
your
don't know.
slots
We'll
related
answer
questions.
anything.
Yeah, I'll just push it on over to Dave. Dave, you answer that one.
There we go. Hold on, I
But
gotta
anyway,
check this.
guys, really do want to appreciate you. Gamble around the globe. Look at that from Kevin Farrell. That's a flashback. Hey, Janet.
Man, talk
Adam
about super
G.
flashback.
Gamble the globe. Yeah, that's when I first met Dave. Did you
That's
guys
right.
ever hear the story of when I met Dave? Let's tell it. Why
Like
not?
the first time we met.
Well, the first time that we started chatting.
Oh
What
yeah.
was it?
So
Oh yeah.
I had just started my channel. Like I had just started it. Wait, quick pause for thank you, Robin, gifting 5 memberships. 5 new
You're
members coming the
awesome.
way because of Robin. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
Um, so I had just started my channel, Gamble the Globe, and it's one of those things. As a new channel, the best thing you can do is reach out to other channels. So of course, I'm searching for Top Dollar, and here's this guy repairing Top Dollar machines. Like, oh, this is interesting, and I'm just like, hey, what's going on? I love Top Dollar. Huge, player, and we talked easily for 3 months back and
Yeah, I
forth.
think so.
You
Yeah.
know, and it was finally like, hey, I'm gonna go to Vegas in June, during COVID, you
Yeah.
know,
That's
and
right.
Mark's like, hey, I'm gonna be there. Reach out to me.
Yeah.
And so reached out to him, found him found him at New York, and we
Yep.
were just like hanging out, like, cool. We started doing more stuff together. I had him on my channel several times as soon as I could go live, and that's the way it's at. And that's it. That's the rest of the story.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember.
And now,
I think I sent it to you a couple weeks ago, but I was going through, actually looking for one of my videos. Believe it or not, guys, on my home slash channel, I am so glad I filmed a lot of that stuff for you guys because I had to go back and rewatch it to relearn how to do some of the things that I used to know just off the top of my head. But anyway, there was one in there about Dave was trying to get to 1,000. I think you came down here and you had like 920 or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that.
And we're like, let's get this guy to 1,000. And
We
sure
did a
enough, on
live.
the way home, I called you up and said,
I
you
got
just
to
hit
1,000.
1,000. So that was fun times, fun times.
It
And the rest
seems
is
so
here.
long
History.
ago.
It does, doesn't it?
It seems so far ago. I mean, we're just barely a year and a half into this.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we're only talking about 3 years ago.
When was that? 2021? I guess yeah, it was 21, wasn't it? Or was
It
it
was
20?
20 into
No.
21. Yeah, I started in April 2020.
But we met, so it had to have been the following year that we met. Anyway,
I thought we met in June 2020 after it opened. Yeah, because there was nobody there. Yeah.
It's possible, yeah. I'm trying to remember back again.
Yep. And now
Move your
walk
mic
down
closer.
memory lane. We're
Okay.
almost to 100,000. That's what's
I'll
crazy.
move my mic closer and I'll raise the volume a little bit. See if that makes it better for you guys. All right, let's jump in here. Is that better, guys? Let me know. Let's go ahead and start answering some questions, and then Dave's got some news and stuff that we're going to share throughout the show. But guys, let's get it going. We already have some in here, so really do appreciate you. All right. Adam G says, "Hey, Mark and Dave, which slot has the highest volatility, Dragon Links or Buffalo?" I honestly can't tell you.
Which Buffalo?
I don't know.
But which
the
Buffalo?
original, yeah, that's true. There's so many different Buffaloes. Now, the original Buffalo that's on the original Aristocrat cabinet a very long time ago is actually very low in volatility, and it's one of the first kind of video slots that is low in volatility. But everything after that, they just started to add more and more to it. So really, if you can find, where was that? There was one casino that we went to off strip when we were doing our off strip stuff that had a whole row of them. I don't know.
Green Valley Ranch.
Green Valley
Ranch had a ton of them. And I was like,
there was
I
like
have
10
never
or 12
seen this
of them
many.
all lined up.
One whole row.
It's definitely a go-to if you can find the original, nothing deluxe, no gold, no ultra platinum, super duper
Links,
stacking, links, just
fireworks
Buffalo.
one.
Just Buffalo. If you can find that one, that's definitely a good one to play. Dragon Links are kind of middle of the road. They're not terrible, but it's a personal thing, right? I just don't like hold and spin features. It's just not for me, and so those are the games I kind of stay away from. But again, that's personal. A lot of people like Dragon Links. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, there's a reason that one's popular, because I think they've kind of dialed in the volatility in a way that it doesn't feel so bad, and I think that's why they're so popular these days. But any of the new ones that they're coming out with are just way too much. They kind of did overkill. Good question, Adam. Thanks for asking.
Oh, looking.
Whoop, shoot, sorry. That was my fault.
I'm Mark Death. I've been binging a bunch of GTG videos. Still learning about that channel. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
That's funny. Yeah, we're still alive. Hopefully the volume's okay, guys. I didn't see what was in there. Okay. All right, next question. Well, this one's too easy. DK Bun, what is your favorite slot? Top dollar. The version? Yeah. I would say my favorite
double
version,
top dollar.
My favorite version is top dollar grand at the moment. It's still one of my favorites. I will seek and destroy that slot anytime a casino has it. I love it. I will constantly.
It's almost like his Moby Dick, yeah. It's like he sees it, he's got to hunt for the whale.
Well, I remember when we first saw it, we were literally running like two obnoxious degenerate gamblers running.
Like I'm pushing him and everything.
Yeah. And as soon as we saw it in Foxwoods for the first time, we're like, "Oh, there it is, Dave! Dave, come here!"
There it is. In quarters. Go.
Yeah. So that's my favorite for sure.
Oh,
what's y'all's favorite? Let's hear from you guys. What are your favorite slots? I want to know. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
And here's one from Steve Rose. What ship are you going on to Alaska? We are leaving out of Vancouver on the Serenade of the Seas. We are looking forward to it. Hopefully, both of us get to go.
Thunder Cash, that's good. Like Thunder Cash. That can be a rough one, though. Be careful.
I kind of want to be in charge of the sounds of all of the Ainsworth games.
Right.
Like, I want them to put me in charge of sounds, of approving their sounds. And I'll be like, absolutely not. Go do this again.
Yeah, they've always been kind of like, I don't know, cartoony or kind of low budget type sounds, They're catchy,
the sounds, there aren't enough sounds, and they repeat too much. They need a larger sample size. Yeah,
that's true. Definitely true. Some good ones in here. Blazing Sevens, Robin says. That's a good one. That's definitely pretty low in volatility. Blazing Sevens and Sizzling Sevens are two of the good ones there. All right, Dave, pick some questions. Let's go.
Oh, man, here's another one from Buckeye Slots. Just got approval to film at MGM when in Las Vegas. What's some advice to make sure I can film without being told not to? Print the form, speak to security beforehand. Any advice would be great. So print the form out. Print multiple copies out. I highly recommend also printing your driver's license and your player's card. That's what I did with ours. So that way I can hand them that sheet of paper. I don't even have to stop talking. Here's a sheet of paper. Have it readily available. Okay? That way you don't have to stop. You can just say, here you go. You'll see them eyeing you and you can have the paper out ready to go. But it kind of wastes time to try to find security ahead of time because security isn't necessarily the one checking it. It might be a slot attendant or a slot manager. But also, even if security does check it, another security guard never got the word, and you're going to get checked anyway. So I think just print it out, have it ready to go.
Very true.
I gotta say, the last time we were there, we had almost no issues.
Yeah, it was real quick. We even see them. We see them like this, and we're like, here
you go. You'll get to know. You'll see the eye contact. You'll be like,
yeah, you get the funny look on your face, and they go like this, they're calling it in,
They're already calling it in, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely gotten a lot easier. I think when they first launched it, there was just so much confusion, and different properties were handling it different. I think the best was when they just took your player's card and swiped it and said you're good.
That was so easy.
I don't know why they got rid of that. Maybe people were giving other players' cards away. I don't know. There's some reason they got rid of that, but that was probably the easiest to deal with. But it is what it is. All right. Joel Leal says, during a bonus free spins, does stopping the reels change the outcome? Example, Buffalo or even Lightning Link. Regardless if it's bonus spins or not, it never changes. Never changes it. Now, people swear by this. I see it because I see them like hovering over the button and they're watching, and then they go like that, thinking they're going to stop the animation right where they can. And I assure you, 100% confidence, you cannot have any impact over where it's going to stop. It is the minute that you initiate the bet or the spin starts, it's been decided. Everything after that is eye candy. It's just animations. It already knows what the result's going to be. So fast stopping is just fast stopping it. It's just getting through it faster and faster and faster. Definitely don't recommend doing that. Sit down, enjoy the game, play it slow, don't go crazy.
From Patrick Hen, where can Top Dollar Grand be found in Vegas right now? At Four Queens. You can find it there. 100%, I know it's there. Bellagio still has theirs. Venetian still has. I don't think there's any in quarters. Those are all dollars. Yeah. I have not seen quarters since Foxwoods, essentially.
Yeah.
And also, most of NGM is removing their Top Dollar Grands and replacing, because they're Diamond RS cabinets, you can just sort of make them anything. And they're kind of making them into the latest high volatility from IGT. So you get a lot more of those diamond games, a lot more of the filling pot games, which I like. I like the different jackpots. Yeah, the rising jackpots I kind of like, but not as much as
hard to get the bonus,
Top Dollar.
God, man, they made that game brutal.
It is hard to get the bonus, and very rarely do you get it from filling the pot. You get it because you get 3 of the jackpot symbols on there. That's when you get it.
Yeah. All right. See, Burgett says, hi, Mark and Dave. Do backup wins also happen at Class 2 bingo machines? Thanks. So backup wins can happen on anything, but it's not planned. I don't want you guys to ever think that you should do a backup spin because it's planned to give you another hit because it just did. It's all superstition. The reason we do backup spins is it's all like etiquette. Like there's this untold rule in slot machine heaven that you should never leave a win on a slot machine. It's just etiquette, right? People just don't like that. You know, it's the same etiquette that you would find at a table game, like if it's mid-shoe, asking everybody at the table first, can I join in mid-shoe or should I wait until the end of the shoe? Like, it's not a law, it's not a rule, it's just etiquette, right? And so that's always been an etiquette thing with slot machines, is don't leave it on a big win. But it doesn't make any difference on the outcome whatsoever. Regardless if it's Class 2 or Class 3, VGT, HHR, VLT, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. There's a great one here from Slots, Oklahoma. What do you believe the highest volatility game is? And then the second highest. My personal opinion is the highest volatility game right now is probably Huff and Puff with the, Huff and Puff jackpots, progressives.
No, I think it's probably Hard Hat Edition's pretty bad.
Hard Hat, and then the second one is High Rise. Or the second one's Money Mansion. I'd say Money Mansion's more than High Rise.
Maybe.
Both. They're all 3 of those are up there high. And they all suck. But they're fun to play.
Still the highest. If you can still find Diamond Queen out there,
crazy
that one's pretty bad. Yeah.
Which they still have that at MGM Grand, I think.
Yeah, I think
they
so.
still have a Diamond Queen.
I think we saw it. No, we saw it at Park MGM too, but we
did see it at Park MGM.
Yeah,
we're not playing that one.
Even at Penny.
Which we got to post that video for George.
Oh yeah, George. Don't worry.
We got that video for you, George.
We got you. All right, Mike says, hey guys, hope you're doing good. Just want to ask you guys, does a machine know the difference between a 1 credit spin and a 2 credit spin max? Is it always better to play that way? So the only reason that the game needs to understand what you've bet is to figure out what the pay table should pay if you were to get a win. Now, this is kind of a loaded question because it really depends on the type of slot that you're playing, but in most situations, especially like 3-reel machines, it's just a multiplier of your bet. So if you're betting 1 credit, it pays on the left side of the pay table. You're betting 2, it pays on the right side if there's just max 2 bet. And they're just multipliers of each other, right? So a cherry would give you 5 credits on a single bet, and it would give you 10 credits on a second bet. It's just in relation there. Where it gets a little tricky, though, is that if there are any games where if you don't bet a certain amount, you don't activate certain features. The example I like to use on this is like the Red Hot Tamales game with the respin. There's like 3 different bet levels, essentially, where there's just the base bet, which all you're doing is playing for line pays. No bonuses, no respins, no progressives. And then the next one, you're playing for the progressives and the line pays, but not the respin. And then the next one up, you're getting all the goodies. Like you're basically eligible to get all of those. So at that point, the game does take into account how much you bet to tell you whether you're going to be eligible for a win. But it's all about the evaluation of what ends up being displayed to you, if that makes sense. The only time you should do max bet, in my opinion, is if there's some kind of benefit that seems worth it to you. Sometimes on a double diamond machine, I like to use this example, where if you get 3 double diamonds on 1 credit, it's 800 credits, right? You get it on 2, it's 1600. But sometimes on some machines, you'll see that they'll change that 1600 to 2500, or maybe even attach a progressive to it. If you do see that, then I think it is worth max betting at that point. But if it's just the same, if it's just multiplying your bet, then it does not matter whatsoever. Hope I answered your question there.
And from Erwin Mina, is it better to gamble when the casino is busy or slow, or does it matter? It does not matter. The machines don't know when it's busy or slow. They don't know what time of day it is. Well, I mean, they do, but it doesn't matter. They don't know if it's a weekend or if it's a holiday or if it's the day after a holiday. None of that stuff matters. Play when you want to play. Play when your schedule dictates. Don't get up at 4 a.m. because you think they're going to be better. Get up at 4 a.m. because there's a breakfast special,
That's right.
But yeah, don't worry about. Oh, did we get this $20 super chat?
Yeah, I think we missed it.
I
see it up there now. Go ahead. You want to click it?
Okay. Hold on. I got to figure out how to grab it up. There it is. There it is. Oh. Is it true Mark hates no sound slots because he can't adjust the volume to get better line hit or jackpot?
That's it, Kestrel.
I think it's more along the lines of someone is watching our show and sees what slots he plays and just turns the volume off all of them.
I don't know what it is, guys. It's like one of those superstition things. Like I just seem to. There'll be a whole bank of machines. They're all the same, and I always end up sitting down at the one with no sound. And then I've even memorized at WinStar. I've memorized this one in the middle has sound, and then I'll go to the next time and somebody turned it off.
And then the one next to it, I'll play. It'll have sound.
Exactly. That actually does happen. Yeah.
Thank you, Kestrel. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, we appreciate our moderators. We appreciate Majestic Slots. If you haven't checked out his channel, make sure to go do that. Also, Susan. She's awesome. We really appreciate Susan. And the other guy. And Proud Monkey.
Proud Monkey.
We appreciate you too, Proud Monkey. Yeah. He knows we love him.
Sometimes.
That's why we got to give him hell.
Sometimes we love him.
Yeah.
All right. iMac Death says, I know Class 3 machines are extremely regulated, controlled, but how does that compare to Class 2 machines? I've heard people poo-poo Class 2 because of the centralized control. That's true. So they're exactly the same. There's nothing different. Just because it's running in a centralized location because you're playing a bingo game doesn't mean that the protections aren't in place. They are still in place. They cannot just change the payback percentage on a whim. Gaming control still has to be involved in any kind of changes like that. And that's for your protection. It doesn't matter if it's Class 2, Class 3, VLT, all that stuff is regulated. As long as you're playing in a licensed facility. Like I always have to say that, because if you're not in a licensed facility, it's the Wild West. They can do whatever the hell they want. They can break the rules. They can put Chinese knockoff games in there that look like slot machines, but they're not really. And then they can put whatever payback percentage they want. That's a long story. But as long as you're playing in a licensed casino, you should feel comfortable. I think people don't play Class 2 because, number one, the bells are really annoying. I get that. Number two, it just seems weird. And I felt this way for a very long time.
And I did too.
Until I started playing them and learning them. And now I prefer playing those in a lot of cases to Class 3. We go to WinStar, there's plenty of Class 3 games there. But we play it maybe 10% of the time. And it's top dollar, and that's it.
And the rest of the time it's Class 2.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the part with Class 2 is they see the bingo card and it's something that's not what they're comfortable with.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And those bells, when they're yours, you really don't mind them at all.
That's right.
You really don't mind those
Suddenly
bells
they're
when you're
great.
yours.
Yep.
From make the adjustment. Do slot attendants get to keep those insane tips? So yes, they do. However, almost all cases, they are split with everyone at the casino. So let's say everyone they deem tip worthy, from the bartenders to the slot attendants to the cage workers to cleaning staff, all that. If you're in that pool, essentially, that $20 you give to the slot attendant or however much, that gets divided all up between them. Now, my secret is that I slipped the bathroom attendant $5, so he doesn't have to tell anybody that because no one's watching. But anytime they're getting money, that's going into a pool, and it's split between everybody. So yes, they do get to keep them, but it gets divided down a lot. And a lot of times, which I really don't agree with, is that pool can include people who aren't even working that day, which I think is complete crap.
You tell them, Dave.
I'm tipping this guy. I'm not tipping Brad, who's not even there. You know, it's like, it's like
definitely true. Steve M, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Thank you very, very much. Best on YouTube. Well, hey, I'll take that.
We try.
We try, definitely. Can you explain what's going on with Huff and Puff Power 4 or any of those 4 at a time games? You guys have made us better gamblers.
That's what we try to do.
I don't know what you mean by like what's going on essentially, but I mean, you're playing four games at once.
Yeah.
You're just, I even had a game loaded on here that was, what was it? It was 9 at once. Dave, you were
9
playing.
at once.
Yeah, 9 games at once.
It was confusing as hell.
I know. They're just trying to get you to play as many as you possibly can. I am not a fan of the Power 4. I think it's a little tough. Even if you do get the bonus round, the times that I've played it, the bonus rounds have been rough. Just not very good. So just keep that in mind when you do play it. Try to limit how many spins you do, how much money you put into those, because like with most of those games that are higher in volatility, it's designed to suck you in, and that one sucks you in times 4.
Big time. Yeah.
So you get 4 or 5 hats on 4 different games, and you think, wow, almost got it. Then
I won't play Wonder 4 like almost ever, but I'll play Power 4 if I'm just like feeling it, you know?
Right.
But Wonder 4, I almost never play Wonder 4. The game selection just not my thing.
Yep.
And from Lori Klepek. Hey guys, love your channel. Question: are the odds of hitting or winning amount better when you get bet higher? You said bet higher. I mean, no, not really. We're talking fractions of a percent. So it's not worth it to bet higher to try to get those higher wins because you're just going to blow through your budget faster. Stay at the bet that you're comfortable with. Don't try to think, I'm going to bet higher and break the bank. I'm going to do $50 spins. No, don't do that. Stay with your budget. Have fun. And if you win, that's great. You're even better. Make sure to take some of that money home, though.
Well said, Dave.
And we get tied up in the bigger bets. Zone. We really do get.
And I understand why, because that's what the entertainers on YouTube show you, the bigger bets, the bigger wins. Are you going to get a jackpot more likely if you're betting higher? Of course.
Of course.
But that's because
it's a multiplier of your bet.
Yeah, it's just a multiplier of your bet. That's the reason. So don't chase jackpots. We hate that. We get questions all the time. I just want to get a hand pay. I'm like, why do you want to pay taxes? Why do you want to get to that threshold to pay taxes? Like, no. Focus on doubling 200 to 400 or 300 to 600, and that's better than a jackpot in my opinion. You know, focus on that. Focus on the little wins.
Best trip ever was years and years ago at Caesar's Palace, back in this little kind of circular. It wasn't the high limit room; it was the little circular place next to it, and they had a $5 double top dollar 2-credit machine, and I was just hammering on that machine. I mean, did not get a single hand pay, but in the course of one day, I walked away with about $7,000 from that machine, but not one single hand pay. And that was like the best because I was like,
no taxes,
not a one.
Yeah.
It was no taxes. I was actually afraid because this was back when I didn't know much that I had a $3,000 voucher that came out of it. I was afraid if I took that up to the cage, they were going to make me pay taxes after the fact. So I put it in the machine to get it. And by the way, it will cash out up to 3,000. But after that, it gets a little suspect of whether or not it's going to give you the money.
Yep. Really depends
it was like
on the machine and how
3,300, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But for Richard Jacobs, are the dates still the same for Connecticut? Yes, they are. We are locked in now. We bought plane tickets.
Website. Dang it.
It's going to be on the website tomorrow.
Yes.
We are locked in as far as dates now. We bought our plane tickets, both there and back. We're coming in on July the 10th into Philadelphia. We'll be driving to Atlantic City. Going to be a short time in Atlantic City because they do not allow filming there. So we're only going to spend enough time there to basically spend the night, look around, meet some of you guys, and then we're going to be rolling out the next day. We will be in Foxwoods, Mohegan Sun from Friday the 11th until the 15th. So we'll be basically in Connecticut most of the time.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be around, we'll put this on the website. We'll be announcing it a whole lot. We'll put it on a community page. We're going to do all that. This is not going to be the last time you hear about it.
Yeah.
So far, no formal meetup.
It's finally happening, guys.
It's finally happening, yeah.
Yeah.
And someone else asked a question. I'm going to try to find it in here about, are you coming to, here it is, from AIO. Are you planning to come to Northern California like Cache Creek or Granton casinos? Probably not this year. It is still on our list. We are trying to make a tour of California. Essentially, we'd have to break it between Southern and Northern. There's just too much in either space, and it's too much of a distance between the two. But we would definitely be hitting Southern California maybe next year, and then maybe later hitting Northern California and ending up in Oregon would be my guess if we were going to do that. Jobs suck. The fact that we have to have a mortgage and pay bills and everything else like that is keeping us from doing it.
Right. Richard says, thank you guys for what you do. $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that.
We appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. We're trying, like we said. All right. I saw a really good question in here. Lockwood Larson says, do you ever approach an electronic slot machine with less than 100 times budget?
Yeah. Often. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll put $20 into a machine.
Yeah.
And do $2 bets.
I think 100 times is kind of my limit. So I think it's mostly like, I don't know. I just look at it as $100. Like I'll try those games and I'll put $100 in. And then if I don't get any kind of bonus round or whatever, I really try hard to get out. Because I know if you start to feel committed, right? You just keep putting money in, chasing the bonus round. And then you're so deep that you're like, I need the bonus round now. Otherwise, I'm going to walk away a huge loser on this machine. How many times have you guys felt that? I felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember, you really should commit to a certain amount of cash before you sit down at the machine and try to hide the rest away from you. And tell yourself, I'm going to play 100, and if it doesn't come out well, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to get up and walk away. Now, you can come back to that machine later if you want, but you got to break that cycle of chase. That is what high volatility, especially games, do, is that they try to get you to keep chasing over and over and over again. By teasing you, the pots, the piggies, the firecrackers, all of this perceived progression stuff, all of that is getting you to keep putting money in. And you got to be the one to be strong, because nobody else is going to tell you. Nobody from the casino, the slot machine, nobody's going to tap you on your shoulder and like, you probably should give it up.
Give it up.
You got to make that decision yourself. Or go with a buddy. Dave and I are always like, come on, nah, that's enough. Get out of it. We're always doing that to each other. And I think that's important.
All right.
You should have a buddy.
You put in $300 trying to hit a $200 minor.
Right.
Time to go.
Like, give it up, Mark. Yeah.
So from true. Nate M. Resorts World continues to struggle. What do you think they need to do to attract more players? Nate, I have been trying to put my finger on what Resorts World problem is. I know they have management issues. They've got, tons of issues. They are great about picking up talent. When they had Katy Perry there, it was packed. When they've had other talent there, it's been packed. EDC, it's been the resort hotel for EDC for the last several years. It's packed. I don't understand what the problem is. because I feel it when I'm there. I don't like gambling there. I love the casino. I love the layout. I talk about it often how I just really like that the food court goes the whole length. They have interesting ones. They change out. I like the fact that the high limit room is super welcoming and brightly lit. I don't like the game selection in there. I think it could be used some work. The game selection on the floor isn't great, but the casino is beautiful. It's an amazing property. I have just can't put my finger on what's the problem is. I do know that Resorts World in Vegas is going through staffing changes again. They do have they're very successful in New York and other places. They're just not doing great. So we'll have to see what happens. At this point, I know they're not going out of business, so don't think Resorts World is going anywhere. They are looking at some, I think, a renovation of one of their towers already, and I believe they think it needs a little bit more jazz to it. You know, the Conrad probably could be a little bit higher end considering its price point, so maybe that's it. But I don't know.
I think
time will tell.
I think it's just going to keep changing ownership over and over and over again until somebody has the formula to keep it going in a way where it should be. But yeah, it's not in a good spot right now. But it's not going anywhere. It's not like they're going to demo the whole thing. I mean, it's just they've got to do something to get more people in. So they'll try different things.
I very rarely gamble there, but they still send me free offers.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're desperate, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. They're desperate to have more people there.
All right, let's see.
Oh, here's
Ladder Show Rob says, when a slot has a pick bonus and the values are revealed under all possible choices after the bonus ends, does it always mean those values were truly under those choices? 95 to 98% of the time, yes. If it does flip over and show you where everything is, then yeah, you were in full control. There are some exceptions. There are some games that, even though they didn't, they still flip you off. They still flip it over and show what was there. The most popular one that you see this on is Quick Hits, when you reach the free games bonus and you have to pick from that grid. And then after you match 3, it shows you where everything else was. You were in control of that. That was not predetermined. So that's kind of the general rule, but as with everything, there are exceptions. And I don't remember specifically which ones. I think it's some AGS games that do it. But yeah.
And then here's one from $5 Yo. Does it matter when you play your spin later in the bingo card of a Class 2 machine when more balls are called? So the balls that are getting through there do not help you in any way. It's only your first set of numbers that never change. Those are the numbers that are set, and those are the numbers that can help you match. So it doesn't matter when you're going to be calling. The only difference is it looks like you're getting more patterns possibly matching when there are more of the extra balls called. The main thing to look at is when you match a pattern, how close to the beginning did you match it? So each row is 15 numbers. So it's 15, 15, and then 5, I believe. I think there's 35 numbers total. So is that right? 35 numbers?
It can go much further than that, but yeah.
Yeah. But so it matters where they're called in there. So like eyes, for instance, we're always saying how much we hate eyes and buttons. But eyes or buttons called in the first of those 4 numbers is amazing. It's actually really good. It can hit a lot and keep moving on that. So that's what you're looking at mainly. Check out my video on Class 2 for beginners, and then check out Mark's video about how Class 2 works for all that info.
Yep. And to add one other thing on top of that is it also, when it comes to determining payouts, it does matter in some situations how many balls have been called. So even though you did match something, let's say you saw private stripes in there, sometimes private stripes only pays if a certain number of balls have been called. If that has not happened yet, you will not get a payout for that. So there's like a second layer to that. All right.
News, by the way, because we forgot to add 15 minutes.
Let's do that.
So only one big news I want to share with you guys is this week was earnings for IGT. They missed big time. So why does it matter if IGT missed earnings and Light and Wonder didn't, and Aristocrat didn't, and Every didn't? But IGT, the biggest manufacturer it is, it's because they're the biggest manufacturer. That's why it matters that they missed. A lot of this is coming down to essentially games that are coming out aren't seeming to be as popular as they once were with IGT. It is very clear that Light and Wonder and Aristocrat are currently the leaders in the gaming market. And IGT kind of seems to be having more expenses versus being a little bit more dynamic than the smaller. IGT is the biggest. Everyone's smaller than them. So this has kind of had them really come down low. And they actually missed their mark by like what, $70 million for how much profit they're supposed to have, which is a huge miss. The fact that they have no big games in the pipeline, Wheel of Fortune payouts are another thing that's hurting them because every time that thing hits $1 million, they're having to pay that out. And while, yes, they are making profits, you got to always remember, costs are what to be considered. Just like everyone else, costs are going up for them. And so it's going to be really interesting to see this next couple of quarters. Do we see Light and Wonder and Aristocrat start to decline as well? Or is there's a history going on with IGT? IGT is also in the midst of being absorbed by Apollo, which will be buying IGT and Every. That was supposed to already be done. And nothing has been mentioned about it. It is supposed to be done by the end of first quarter. We're into the first quarter. We're into second quarter. And nothing's been mentioned. So it could have been because of that miss. Not quite sure. Keep tuned. I'll let you know more as I get it.
Nice, Dave.
That was the news.
Bob has changed his name to Bob Top Dollar, and now he's trolling us.
Bob Top Dollar. We
We'll
made you an offer on a
Bob.
top dollar one, Bob. We made you an offer.
And you decided not to take it. You did try again.
Try again. Ooh, good reference.
I know. Did you get it?
I got it right away.
I figured you would.
It was a 15 credit offer.
Amy L says, break those $100 bills into 20s. It can help. Yes, absolutely. If you guys have not tried the Gamble Smart method, I hate using the word method. I'm going to use it anyway.
The problem is because everyone uses the word methods.
Well,
you have to say method.
Method, strategy. It's more of
challenge.
Let's just call it a method. Okay, why not?
You have to.
The Gamble Smart method essentially is to take $100 and split it up. We do it into $10. So 2 5s or a $10 bill. Break your 100 10 times. Go pick any slot that you want. We prefer lower in volatility, but play what you enjoy, right? And the idea is that you put $10 in, and the moment that you do a spin and you get more than what you bet back, you cash out, okay? And then you take that ticket and you put it away in your purse or in your wallet, whatever. And then you play the same game or go find a different game and put the $10 in again and then repeat that. And just keep doing that. Now, will you blank sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes you will do a lot of spins and not ever get more than your bet back. That is going to happen. You need to realize that. But I think you will be pleasantly surprised at the end, after you go through those 10, how much money that you have left over. It may be over $100. It may be $50. It may be $65, $12, whatever, but it's not zero. And typically what happens is when you put $100 into a machine, you play it down to zero unless you are satisfied with the win. But when are you going to be satisfied? How much is it? $123? Are you satisfied? Are you going to take it out then? Most people don't. They just think it's more spins. That's more spins I can do. So
put
I can
it
get
back
the big
in.
one. When is it enough? When is that enough? And that's
Never
what we
enough.
struggle with. So by doing this, you are breaking that up, and it's teaching you a lot of things along the way. Number one, to recognize all wins. So anytime you do have a win, you cash out, you are recognizing that you made a win. You were a success. You may not have been over $10 that you started with, but you got a win off of your money, and you should take that out. Now, take this a step further and do a challenge with your friends that whoever wins at the end takes the other person's ticket. Do that. And you guys can have a lot of fun with that. If you don't want to commit $100, do it with $50. And whoever is the winner, whatever the other person has left in their ticket, $32, you get to keep it.
You get to keep it.
Do some fun stuff like that. So, what we're trying to do is to get you guys not to put a bunch of money. Stop putting those big ass tickets in the machines that you keep carrying around. It's like $700, $800, $900,
and then it just goes down, down, down.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep spinning Yeah, it will erode a lot faster if you have it all in there at once, rather than you putting in $20 or $10 at a time. It really slows you down. It makes you pay attention to how much money you have left. It makes you pay attention to the wins that you're getting. It will also force you to get up and take a break and walk and go play something else. It's just about slowing the process down, getting the entertainment value out of it, and not going off the deep end, the slope, which is what we're trying to prevent you guys from doing. This is smart gambling, guys, what we're talking about. So try it next time. If you ever want to do it, we have a couple of videos, mods, if you want to link to one of them, about, we've done it. We have a video where Dave and I did it for the first time, and it was fun. Dave actually ended up with $140-something the first time.
It was crazy.
It was fun. I've done it with a friend, my good friend Michael. We did a video with him.
We did it with Lucky Ginger.
Lucky Ginger, we did that. Yep. It's fun, guys. So give it a shot. Let us know what you think of it. The method, the strategy,
the method,
secret.
And from Hattie Sheck, I know casinos don't have clocks because they want the players to lose track of time. Are they required to advise of potential weather events, say tornado warnings? Yes, they are. If you have ever been to WinStar or any casino in Oklahoma, you will have probably heard some tornado warnings. The sirens go off, everything. They essentially evacuate the floor. They're like, you got to go. You can't be on the floor. You know, they'll turn the machines off. They'll do all that. If it is really seriously a tornado is coming, they stop everything. So yeah, they are absolutely required to warn of weather events. The clocks, yes, they don't have clocks because they want you to lose track of time. But wear your own watch. You have your phone with you. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. They're still responsible for public safety, just like any other place would be.
And thank you to J-Dog for gifting 10 Gamble Smart memberships.
Thank you, J-Dog. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And guys, if you were gifted a membership or you are a new member, right after the show, actually, Proud Monkey, if you want to go ahead and post it, go to our community page, and there will be a post right up there that will show you all the links to how you join our Discord. We hope we join you so we can, or hope you join so you can check us out in the chat, the live chat, and then all the other little goodies and perks that we have bundled in there too. So hope to see you there. And congratulations, and J-Dog, thank you for your gifted memberships. Really appreciate you.
And from DK Bun, I am new on live slot. What are the best slots to either break even or win? DK, check out some of our older videos. We go through a bunch of old school 3-reel slots that we believe are the best ones to play to make your budget last longer. You have the better chance on the old school 3-reels to break even or even win than you do on the newer games. Not to say you can't win, it's just a better chance.
We have some other smart gamblers I want to call out in here. We got Steve M. He says, something I do when I go to the casinos, I make a list of the games I'm going to play and how much I will spend on each.
That's good thinking.
Helps with budget management. That's smart thinking, Steve. I love that. And another smart gambler here, Jason, says, I wanted to say, let you guys know that I really appreciate your recommendations. Last weekend, we stayed at the casino for the weekend, and on the first night, I won big, so I took half and deposited in my bank. Guys, that is hard. It's hard to do, man. When you first get to a casino and you hit it big, what is your immediate thought? Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be a fun weekend.
I'm going to own this place.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the high limit room. I'm going to do some damage in there. This is amazing. This is the best first stop. Do what Jason does. Take that money away, any of the big winnings that you have, and continue to play off your budget. Like that's what you want to do, is you want to work your budget up and take those winnings out of the casino. Don't put it back in. That's what they're designed to do. So great job, Jason. Smart gamblers. I love it.
And from Robin, are HHR games the same as bingo games? Yes and no. HHR games, like bingo games, get their volatility from not an RNG, but from, in a sense of historic horse racing, from historic horse racing results, and the sense of bingo games from class 2. So that is their similarities. They do not share a lot of other similarities. It's just a different way of grasping the volatility than an RNG. So we got to get Robin out here to play these games so she can understand them, and then she's going to get she's going to love them and then never want to leave.
Yeah, exactly. She'll never play at Seven Feathers again.
We'll bring her out here in August, so she'll for sure go home.
There you go.
Guys,
that's right.
If you're in another part of the country, it is May 14th today, and it was 103.
Yeah.
103 degrees, and it's not even we're not even middle of spring yet.
I know, it was brutal.
Summer's not even here. This is just, hey, we got a taste of what's coming. Here's your 5-spin taste. 103 degrees.
So we have another smart gambler in here. Amy L said, stopped off at the casino to play on my way home tonight. Went in with 300, walked out with 500. Was careful to cash out and set tickets aside while playing. Felt so good, doesn't it?
It does. It feels good to go home with money.
You want that ride home to be with a smile on your face, not the, what the fuck did I just do? Like, that is not what you want. What did I do?
You go over your head what you did wrong.
You're like,
but when you got money in your pocket and you're like,
roll back 2 hours, like, you know, all those. Don't go home like that. We've all been there. We've all done it, but that's not what we want. So, and especially like what Amy says, she obviously lives somewhere where there's casinos en route to work and from work. You guys that have local casinos, you have to be very, very disciplined, more than anybody else, because it's convenient, right? It's convenient to go. You online players, this is the same for you too. You got to be very disciplined. Go in with a certain amount of cash every time that you are okay to lose, and get out of there quick. You can go home. It's a lot easier to go home.
It's easier
when you're local, and use that to your advantage of going in there, hitting something, and then leaving. Even if it's $10, you just bought coffee the next day. Maybe.
Depends on what you order.
That's right.
If it's a venti, double, half calf, soy, whatever, it's probably going to be more.
You're pushing $13 now.
Right.
Thank you, Amy. Smart gambling. Love it.
From Cal Bade, do you see advantage play slots becoming a problem at casinos? So, Cal, I can tell you from an industry event I was in where they actually talked specifically about advantage plays, several casinos were present. I would say approximately 30 property managers, casino managers, and different staff specifically were addressing advantage slots and how they are not a fan of them because of the bad element that advantage slots bring in. Now, this is not to say that every advantage player is a bad person. This is talking about a specific group. Mark and I have been witness to some of these groups at WinStar. They are specific groups who are giving the rest of advantage players a bad name and essentially are going to make an end to advantage play because of the aggressive nature in which they do it. They will find an advantage, and if someone's playing on that machine, they are very rude. They will be there essentially right next to them in their face, blowing smoke, flicking ash on them, all this stuff. And these are events that we have not witnessed but have been told to us by several different slot techs. And there's all the same thing. We can't do anything about it because they are a customer. So we can't tell them to leave or stop that. They can only do that if, the person that is gambling calls over security and says something. But even then, the security guard cannot make them leave if they haven't done anything wrong. So I do think that advantage play is going to become more of a problem until the casinos really go for a solution. But properties like MGM have already started cutting advantage players' play. They've cut their free play, cut their rewards. Essentially, if you're identified as a problem advantage player in MGM, you're not getting any comps. They've killed them. So I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it'll work itself out.
Yep. It'll work itself out. The market adjusts.
Good to see you, Rocky Mountain High Limit Slots. Is the term smart gambler an oxymoron? It's funny because
I don't think so.
I get this. We get this comment at least once a week now on one of our videos. Gamble smart. That doesn't make any sense. The only way to gamble smart is to not gamble at all. We get that. But it's just like with anything in life, in my opinion. It's like if you were to play sports, wouldn't you want to play sports smartly, or would you want to be a dumb player? It's just we have chosen this thing. We have chosen to gamble. You have to make that decision on your own. But why not get some help if you are going to gamble so that you can do the things that we talk about, and you will be a smarter gambler because of it. Are we all going to be dumb gamblers from time to time? Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the nature of the beast.
There's nobody that is 100% disciplined. Well, except maybe Stefan at Old School Slots. He's pretty disciplined. But
he's pretty disciplined.
All of us at some point or another will fall into the trap, right? It happens. But if we drill this stuff into you, and this is why we repeat ourselves so much. People are like, well, you already talked about that. You talked about that in a video 6 months ago. I know, but we're trying to find different ways of approaching these topics so that maybe even if you rewatch it, you'll start to remember what did Mark and Dave say again? Oh yeah, put $10 in at a time, $20 in at a time. Take those breaks, like all those things. If you hear it enough, we're hoping that that will be the noise that you hear instead of the noise from the machine saying, "Feed me more money." We want
Feed
you to
me,
hear
Seymour.
us. We want you to hear us. So. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of an oxymoron the way, smart gambling. Gambling inherently probably isn't that smart, especially if you can't afford it. But guys, we are affording it, right? We are not playing with money that we can't afford to lose, right? So, yeah, I think the education comes from you making the decision first that I have money that I want to spend and I want to gamble with this money. Let me do some research on what are the best games to play, how to manage my bankroll, how to take breaks, how to relax, how to get entertainment out of it without losing the 300 in the first 5 minutes that I'm in the
That's the
casino.
important part.
That's what we're trying to do here, and I know you know that, Rocky Mountain. But you bring up a really good point, and I think it's good that people at least hear that message, and hopefully it kind of you'll remember it going forward.
From Bobby Root. Do you wish Irving, Texas, approve a casino resort? So Irving cannot approve a casino. That has to be done by the state. It has to be done by a state constitutional amendment to establish gaming and a gaming commission and gaming rules. The issue with Irving is that they wanted to build everything now, and essentially, sorry, not Irving, but the Sands Corporation in Irving wanted to build everything now. So they wanted to build the resort, the casino, the new stadium for the Dallas Mavericks, all this thing all in one. Since they have come to realize that the earliest possible chance of gambling coming to Texas is 2029, they pulled the casino portion because it may not have been approved. So here's what that would have meant. If it was not approved, then it would have been a done deal. Even if Texas were to pass gambling next year, they would have been screwed on that property. So they pulled it at that time, hoping for better sentiment in the future. Essentially, gambling is in Congress in Texas. It's going to take those guys first acting before we actually see it. The Sands Corporation wants a bill that favors them highly. So it favors resort gambling, which I do agree with resort gambling. But also what the Sands Corporation wants is to eliminate all of the card houses in Texas that are very few and far between. There's none here in Tarrant County and Fort Worth. I have to go outside. I have to go to Dallas County. I have to go to Parker County to be able to play poker in Texas if I want to. So without those card houses, I think we'd have a lot more issues of more money leaving the state, more illegal games. So I think that those card houses really stop a lot of illegal games from happening. And they need to continue, as they do in California. There are plenty of card houses outside of casinos. And so that's what part where I disagree with the Sands Corporation's lobby for resort gaming. I think resort gaming needs to be resort gaming only, no gas stations, no side of the road things.
I agree.
Resorts only. I don't want to limit on the resorts because I want the market to decide how many resorts we need in Texas. It's a big freaking state. We may need more than 6 of what they're, or 5 what they were proposing. I'm like, 5, where are those 5 going to go?
Right.
Mark's not going to get a casino near him if it's only going to be 5. No one's putting
true.
one in Temple. They're going to put one in between Houston and Austin to maximize, close to Dallas. So yeah, you're going to miss out a lot if their version of a bill goes through. But it's going to be a long way off still. We have another 5 years to go.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Seattle Susie Q for giving 5 Gamble Smart initiatives. So it's like a total of 20 memberships tonight from Seattle Susie, who is it, J-Dog? And then also Robin. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
And I'm scrolling looking for more questions, and I just keep finding good
Tommy
ones.
Ticket says, perceived progression is real, but it does not mean someone has played a bunch of money on that machine if the perceived progression is all lit up versus machine that all the progression is low. So I think I know what you're saying, but the amount of money that has gone through a machine has absolutely no impact on what the future outcomes of that machine is going to be. I think a lot of people fall into that trap. This is kind of the same with the hot and cold. There's been a lot of money put through this machine, so it's going to go on a cold cycle now to stay in balance. Unfortunately, that's not how slot machines work. They don't need to. It's all about probabilities. Every single potential outcome of that machine has a probability to it. 1 in 1,000, 1 in 12,500, whatever it is. And those do not reset or change based on how many people have spun, how much money is put in the machine, all that kind of stuff. So every single spin on the slot machine is completely separate and independent. And all the perceived progression is doing is tricking you into thinking it's close. It can hit at any time. It could hit back to back. I've played those games many times before where they've hit back to back just because it just reset the firecrackers. Again, there's a probability of the middle green firecracker going off, and it's the same every single spin. Nothing changes based off of what's happened before. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Tommy Tickets. I think that's what you were asking. I just want to make sure that I covered that okay. Thank you, sir, for your question. Appreciate it.
And another one from DK Bun, because I like getting this question of, last time I was in Vegas, they used real coins. Why did they change from coins to payouts of paper? Lighter weight, easier to maintain machines, easier to fill up. When paper runs out, you just put another thing of paper into it. Takes one person, one thing. If you're doing a bag of coins, you're talking about 1,000 coins that are loaded at a time. And it takes 2 people minimum to load it up. So it's not just one person. It's one person to do it, the other person to verify the person did it. So it's just really ease of use, ease of repair. You don't have as many problems with machines sticking, all that stuff. Mark has one behind him. I still love the coins. I still do. But I do agree. They're messy. They're dirty. They're loud. You got to be in the mood to play them.
It's a slot tech nightmare, too.
Yeah, they jam all the time.
Having to refill them, jamming. Oh, yeah. People put all kinds of stuff in those coin slots. John Chung says, I'm curious on what slot machines these days consist of. So they're essentially computers. There's what they call them a brain box in the industry, but it's essentially a customized PC, right, that runs customized software. Sometimes it's Windows-based, sometimes it's Linux-based. Really depends on the manufacturer and the cabinet that they have in place. So they basically run just like a normal computer, except it has very highly specialized code on it, as well as highly specialized security features built in. Like, for example, and I don't have one in front of me, but there's a secure USB port. So these things have tons of USB ports on it, because that's how everything connects. The display monitors for the touch, USB. Touchscreen monitors where you're touching like the bet levels, USB. The ticket printer, USB. The bill validator, USB. They all use USB. We all know what that is, right? But there is a special port that is wired directly into the CPU and not into the rest of the cabinet. And that is called the secure. It's like a secure enclave where that is hidden behind a secure door that is locked. And that lock is in place for the gaming commission to come and unseal and unlock that machine to make any core changes to the game. We're talking about like payback percentage, the game type, the game theme, the bet amounts, denominations, all that kind of stuff. Gaming control has to be aware of the change, and they have to unseal the machine and use that special USB port. So it's a PC. That's the quick answer. They're highly specialized because they go through a lot of regulations. They even put security void tape over it to see if anybody, I was showing Dave that on a lot of the machines that we got in for restoration. You can still see the void tape right over where the CPU is, or even on the old machines over the chips. There's the tape going right across it, and that's so they know that somebody has not tampered with it from the casino, because the person that puts it on there is state gaming control, and they're the person that takes it off. And if it's been broken, that's fines, potential loss of license. It's a big deal. All right.
I told Mark we need to get our own void tape. We need to get our own void tape for the machines we sell. We have to have our own void tape on there. That's right. And from Bob Top Dollar, we know it's you, Bob Nolan. You can get it up.
Yeah, you can't hide.
So he's got a great point here. IGT rested on its laurels with old games, refusal to let go of old ideas and bad machines like Top Dollar. You're wrong there, but it's sad, but it is what it is. Bob, I think you're fairly correct. I do agree that they were not eager to change. They weren't really good to change, and they did rest on their laurels for too long. And they made games like Top Dollar and Pinball become less relevant in the space, where the Diamond RS cabinet should have been released 5-6 years ago. It should have been right as the older machines were coming down. They should have released it to have that, momentum keep going. And they sort of just let it went too long while they focused on more of the digital games. I do agree you're partly there, right? But as usual, you're wrong about Top Dollar.
That's right. Oh, man. Katie has a good question. Mark and Dave, any idea why a casino would not have Wheel of Fortune? I've never remember seeing any at Yamava. Just realized that a couple of days ago.
I believe there are some at Yamava.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, especially because Yamava is like a test bed for IGT.
They get everything.
They get everything. The only reason I can think of, although it doesn't really matter, is that it's a WAP game. It's a wide area progressive game like Megabucks, where the jackpot is very high. But the thing is, the casino's not paying for that jackpot. IGT pays that jackpot. So it doesn't really matter to them. It's not like it's a liability for them to have it in there. Could be some licensing deals, leasing deals. That, we just don't know. That's the quick answer. I have seen that, though, where you have one casino that has a bunch, and then you go next door and they don't have any. Who knows? Who knows the reason why? Maybe they don't want Wheel of Fortune. It could be that. But usually there's something that's barring them.
If Wheel of Fortune was not in a casino, I wouldn't really mind. It's not my go-to machine. It's one of those machines I play because it's in core denomination, and I'll just play it for fun. But it's not a machine I ever seek out. Now, Mark seeks it out. He looks for that, the 3x, 3 or 2x, 2x wild, 2x.
Love that one.
He seeks out that one.
It's tough as hell, but I love it.
But it's fun. It's just never one I really go for. It's not my first one I seek out.
Seek and destroy.
Oh, here's a good one from Lucky Ginger Slots. Do y'all think buying a bonus with free play is worth it? That would be the only time I could see being worth it.
I was going to say
is with free play.
Yeah.
You're not just be aware that most likely when you go into buying a bonus, you are not going to get the return of what you bought it for. So just go in with knowing that. But with free play is the only time I can see doing it. You want to take a risk. I get it. That's probably the best time because your exposure is 0. So I have not bought a bonus since the last time you bought a bonus to make that video that was super short and very weak because we didn't win anything.
Do we even make a video? I don't remember.
You got 2 bonuses. You bought 2 of them.
Both terrible. Yeah,
and they're both terrible. It was like, this is ridiculous. Why are we doing so poorly?
This is a good question, even though it was an hour ago. Sorry, Mark. Do you believe the newer slots that suggest that you bet higher in order to better odds at jackpots pushes people to bet more than they should? Double-edged. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some ethical boundaries that I think are really being pushed by manufacturers. That is one of them. Because even if the odds are bigger, it could be a micro percentage that you have better chances. And we don't know what that percentage is or what is the percentage to be able to say that, things like that. But I'm sure it's very minimal. But this is also, my biggest ethical complaint is the perceived progression stuff. The firecrackers, the pigs, all that stuff that's building and getting fatter and all that kind of, the hens getting fatter, about to burst, all that kind of stuff. That's the one that I have a big complaint about because we know that. We know that so many people believe that it does make a difference. And what does that do to you? You think it makes a difference? What is that going to cause you to do? Chase. It's going to cause you to put more money in and to continue playing. Ultimately, that's what manufacturers and casinos want, right? But that's why, again, we want you to be educated by you knowing that it makes no difference or no impact. If you don't believe us, just look in the game rules. It's in the game rules.
Yep, it's always in the game rules.
It makes no difference whatsoever. You knowing that will allow you to get up and walk away or even not even play it because you see it's all the way at the top. It doesn't make any difference. It could still take $300, $400, $600 to be able to get that bonus. So that's a good prime example of why being educated can really save your butt in a casino.
It really can. And here's a good one from Tia. How do you know which one is an advantage game. So Tia, the best thing to do here is Google advantage slot games. Now there are two types of advantage games. There's what's called a perceived advantage and a persistent advantage. Perceived advantage are the pigs, the chickens, the pots, the firecrackers, all those. Persistent advantage are games like Ainsworth, where it's a must hit buy and the must hit buy is close. That's a persistent advantage. That means it's real. A perceived advantage means it's fake. So you can Google and find all these. It's all out there. They got tons of websites, tons of offers to join different clubs. Don't join these clubs. You have to pay in for them. Just play different games. Play different games.
This is a good debate. I like this question. Low roll in Detroit to Vegas is RTP percentage and overall odds needs to be posted in the game rules. Need more transparency. I absolutely agree with you, especially on the overall odds. They have to print them on the back of lottery tickets. Why do they not have to print them on slot machines? So here's the one thing I agree about overall odds. What I don't really agree with is the RTP, and that's because the public is not generally educated on how it works. And so just because they may falsely assume when they see a machine, and let's say they go into the rules and it says 96%, they may falsely assume that you're going to win compared to the one that's next to it that's set at 93%. Now, would you play the one that's at 98 if the next one is 93? Absolutely you would. There's no question there. But it may not make any difference in the short term that you're going to be playing, right? And so I think it would cause a lot of confusion. And plus, casinos set the same payback percentage with the denomination anyway, so you're just going to learn what the casino has set to. In general, I think it's a great idea, but I think also educating the public on what that actually means. Like, what does that number really mean? Does that mean if I put in $100, I'm going to get $98 back? No, it doesn't.
Nope.
But people think
over the life of the machine.
Over the life of the machine, or a million, 100,000 spins or something like that. Yes, but not in your short term. And I think people need to be educated before you start putting a number on there that people don't understand. I think they may make bad betting decisions off of that. But as for the overall odds, I think you should see a big breakdown. Or even if they don't want to put it on there, put it on the website that says the odds of getting a cherry. I mean, all this stuff is available because it's called a par sheet. It's right. Every single game that is ever developed and put on a casino floor has a par sheet, but it's not available to the public. And the par sheet tells you what the odds are of getting everything. What are the odds of getting a buzzsaw bonus? What are the odds of getting the buzzsaw with the golden buzzsaw? All that stuff is there. We're just not allowed to see it. And I think that I would be amazed if that could happen. I would love that so much. But I just, it's also a problem with trade secrets. Like IGT doesn't know what Light and Wonder is doing on the math side. Even though they develop games and they both kind of seem similar, the math is quite different, and the RNGs that they use could be different. They're still randomized. Don't freak out with what I just said. But there's different ways of doing things, and if that wasn't such a trade secret, learning how did Light and Wonder create Huff and Puff to feel so non-volatile, even though it really is? Like, how did they do that? If they had the par sheets available, IGT could learn exactly how they did that and replicate it, right? And so I see that side of it, but I still think there needs to be some kind of middle ground where at least tell us some general odds, let's just start with volatility. I mean, come on, that is not a trade secret. Just let us know on a scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, and they have this number, although again, every manufacturer handles it differently, but come up with some generalized way of explaining this to people where this is a less risky machine. Have a little scale, where it's green on this side and it goes to red, and just put it on the side of the machine. And if you can't do that, put a QR code where they can click it, learn everything about the game, how volatile it is.
Go straight to our website.
Hitting the top jackpot, well, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. And we'll just start putting them on the sides of machines, yeah. But I mean, and I want to take this question next because it kind of flows.
I want to hit one quick with. Okay. I would like to see all the casinos have to post their average win percentage, their average percentage payback on each machine. So if a casino is average of 92%, they can put 92% on the front door or wherever they put it. because that's the quickest way to make every casino have a 92% average.
You're right.
So that does that mean every machine's set to 92? No. But it means that as a whole, it's set to 92 because we know the national average is 90. So we're not really at a huge reach there. But
yeah, I agree.
For whatever reason, yeah,
that would force them all to be the same. I suspect
just make them all the same.
I suspect most of them are, but
I think so too. Yeah,
it's again that would force them, right? And I like that. Rocky Mountain High Limit Slots. I think this is a great philosophical question. What are some milestones you hope to achieve with your channel in the next month, 6 months, and a year?
Man.
So I'm going to kind of tackle all three of those. Kind of just what we were talking about. Like the thing that Dave and I are trying to push very hard for is for the industry to change, and we are closely working with some very good industry partners. We're not ready to mention anything yet, but these are people that control a lot of the stuff. We're not talking about manufacturers and casinos and stuff like that. We're talking about people that control protections for player and player education and things like that. And we're trying to work with these teams to get more transparency, more education out there. We don't want a pamphlet sitting on the back of the ATM where everybody's forgotten about and has cobwebs growing on it and dust for months where it says, "Are you a problem gambler?" We want more than that. We want to educate people. We want a pamphlet where people can pick up and say, "This is exactly how slot machines work," or "This is how to budget on $100. This is what you should do. Why taking breaks, the psychological effects of slots." Like these are the things that we want to push, and by us getting an audience together like you guys has helped us to reach that milestone already. And so we're hoping that in the next months, quarter, 6 months, a full year, that we'll be able to make a big difference in this industry on the voice of the player. Like we're more for the player than anything else. We are here to protect you guys. We're here to educate you guys. We want to do that as much as we possibly can. And if we can partner with industry professionals that are already doing this to get more people involved with this, the better. And it's working. And it's only because of you guys, only because of all of you watchers and all of you subscribers and all you people that are wanting to become better and smart gamblers and like transparency. It's only because of that we have reached this milestone already and know that we will reach even further milestones in the future. It's very important to us. We do a lot of side things. We're doing a slot machine business and all that. Money's good, but again, this is a pastime for Dave and I. We have full-time jobs outside of this. Gamble boxes, there you go. This is our passion. This is not our our full-time careers. It's just our passion, and we want to do.
Would we like it to be our full-time career?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe someday it will, but it's okay right now. It's fine. We think being passionate about it and also just trying to be the voice for you guys. Like that's ultimately what this is about, is listening to what you guys see, learning, the complications that you guys have, why you can't leave with money, why games are confusing, why you can't figure out the bet panel, how much you're actually wagering, why are the pigs getting bigger and never popping. Like these are the things that we listen to and then try to break down and make sure that the industry tries to understand this is not good for the player. This is hurting them. And it's going to make people become bad gamblers. And what are bad gamblers more likely to do? Quit. They're not going to come back.
And they're not going to come back. So here's a great thing to look at. Go to any Google review of a casino.
Yeah, right.
They are always like 3 stars because people don't win and they get mad and they don't come back and they leave a bad review. But when people are essentially, like we encourage people to go out for entertainment, set a budget. That way that when you lose that money, you're not out anything you owe on a credit card or a house payment or a car payment or insurance or anything. All that's covered. You're playing with the same money that you would go to the movies at and buy $60 worth of popcorn and drinks and snacks because that's how much it is a casino at a movie theater. And then you can take that same money and go to a casino. But when you lose that money, you don't have an emotional attachment to it. But when you over gamble and play beyond your budget, that money now has an emotional attachment to it because you owe money on it. You owe bills. But as far as the next 6 months, 100,000. 100,000.
Oh, yeah.
I can taste. I'm already planning for it. I can taste it. Like really, and like Mark said, is what I really strive for as well is for us to have enough influence through our subscribers to be able to get changes like we just talked about of having casinos say we're 92% average. Does it mean anything essentially? No, they've probably always been 92%. But just advertising that lets you stay away from the place that's 76%. You know, it's just protecting you being a more informed gambler. And we just had this discussion with one of these industry leaders we're talking to. And we said how much we are for responsible gambling and how responsible gambling doesn't mean problem gambling. It means gambling responsibly. And there's where a huge mix-up comes in of people think responsible gambling means you have a problem. No, it doesn't. This is the place to start to prevent a problem. This is how to get a hold of your budget, to get a hold of your winnings. So that's why people often ask us, if you need a gambling box, then you have a problem. No, the gambling box is training wheels to develop to the point to where you don't need it anymore. This is the first step. I wish I had one of those when I started because I'd probably have a lot more money than what I was going away for. But I didn't. I had to learn the hard way. Mark and I do not want you guys learning the hard way. You want you giving all the knowledge that we've learned through the hard way and to be better from the start. You guys are having a light years ahead start over us when we started. That's for sure. And in a year, where are we at in a year, Mark? I mean, I can't even fathom a year.
I don't know.
I mean,
2 million subs. Doubtful.
In a year, it would be great for both our YouTube channel revenue and the money we're making from slot machines. Make it to where we could possibly do this full time. That would be my ultimate goal in a year, is to be able to focus on this full time. It's great having our kind of business catching on both wheels, and so I'm really hopefully we can push that forward. And I'm learning as fast as I can. Mark's a great teacher. I'm learning as fast as I can, trying to do all this stuff.
He's a quick learner.
We just want to be a part of that journey with you guys, and becoming better gamblers altogether.
Man.
Bam.
Well said, Dave. Right. I love it. Well, no, that was great. Perfect.
Hopefully that organization who's looking for us watches this.
There you go. And if not, that's okay too. Anyway, I think we'll end on that note. But guys, thank you so much again for everything that you've done for us. I know we kind of had a lull in the content recently, but we've got some things going on. We'll have some more content for you very, very soon. So appreciate you guys hanging in there.
Ooh, and quick reminder though, before we end. Yeah, G2E is October the 5th, Sunday. That is our G2E meetup. If you are coming to Las Vegas, definitely make sure you're coming in on the 5th of October and staying as long as you can. G2E runs until Thursday the 9th. And actually, the official dates are the 6th through the 9th, but the expo is the 7th through the 9th. If you come, we're going to have a sign up. We will make sure you get tickets to get in the expo, okay? Completely free. All right? You get to see everything that is awesome to see. Sooner than that, July 10th through the 15th, we are heading to the Northeast. We will be in Atlantic City for one night only. Sorry, guys, just no recording in Atlantic City, one night only. Then we'll spend the rest of the time in Connecticut at Foxwoods and Mohegan, split kind of evenly. Yes, we will be going live from there. It's on one of the channel things. That's about it for that. We're planning other trips, but right now we have our cruise in 2 weeks, and that's our main focus of a week of downtime. We will be filming, of course. We'll probably go live at the services well enough, but we have a lot of stuff on the way for you guys. There we go.
That's everything at the end. Nice wrap up. Yeah, there you go.
Just bam, bam, bam.
That's right. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you go out to the casino this weekend, best of luck to you. Use some of the things that we teach. Bring some money home. And as always, gamble smart.
Gamble safe.
All right, we love
you guys soon.